Let me ask you a question. What are the two biggest concerns in the cloud computing? Well, according to me, security and cost optimization are the two biggest problems or the concerns in the cloud computing. And how would you make sure that all of your users have just the right access? Well, that's the principle of least privilege, a critical concept not just important in the AWS cloud computing, but also deeply rooted in all the cloud computing, be it AWS, be it Azure, GCP, IBM, Oracle, any cloud. Principle of least privilege is a critical and base concept. And that's exactly what we are going to understand in this video by taking some important questions on this concept. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. So let's begin the episode 53 with the question number 341. And this episode, my friends, is going to be a super exciting episode. You will not only understand very important concepts in AWS, but I will also tell you what are the equivalent services to all these concepts in Microsoft Azure or Google GCP. So let's begin the episode. Let's read the question. It says, what does the principle of least privilege refer to? And the options given are, you should grant your users only the permissions they need, when they need them, and nothing more. Option B, all the IAM users should have at least the necessary permissions to access the core AWS resources or the services. Then we have option C, all trusted IAM users should have access to any AWS service in the respective AWS account. And the last option is IAM users should not be granted any permissions to keep your account safe. And of course, the correct answer is option A, you should grant your users only the permissions they need, when they need them, and nothing more. And as I was saying, my friends, this is a super important concept to understand. This is the base, this is the core of building the security. This is the core of restricting your access, making your data and the application secure. So let me try to explain this concept. Listen to this very carefully. The principle of least privilege is a security concept that dictates the users, the application, and the systems should only have the minimum level of access necessary to perform their task. And this actually means granting the least amount of privilege required to the users and nothing more. And why this is such an important concept in cloud computing? Well, I can tell you, first of all, this enhances the security. By limiting the access, the potential damage from the compromised accounts or the insider threats is really minimized. And this also reduces the risk of unauthorized access to your sensitive data. And secondly, this increases your compliance. So many regulatory standards require strict access controls, and implementing this principle of least privilege, it really helps your organization meet all these compliance requirements more easily. And of course, it also provides you the operational efficiency. Now, by granting only the necessary permissions, the organization can streamline their operations and also reduce the complexity of managing the access control. Please read this concept, and you know what? The questions on this concept also come in exams like AZ-104, which is the Azure Administrator exam, very popular exam. So that's how important this concept is. And with that, let's move on to the next question. Question number 342 that says, which of the reserved instance pricing models can change the attributes of the reserved instance as long as the exchange results in the creation of reserved instance of the equal and greater value? And your options are option A, dedicated reserved instance, option B, scheduled RI, option C, convertible RI, or option D, standard RIs. The correct answer is option C, convertible RIs. And I know this is a lesser known concept, so let me give you some more details on this. So AWS convertible reserved instances, this allows you to exchange your existing RIs for a new one with a different instance attributes as long as the new RI is equal or greater value. So this really provides you with the flexibility while still offering the cost saving compared to the on-demand pricing. So let me give you a brief description of all the other RIs as well. To start with dedicated RIs, these are just the standard RIs that run on the dedicated hardware and do not support the attribute exchanges. Then we have scheduled RIs. These ones allows the reservations for a very specific time period but do not offer flexibility for attribute changes. And then lastly, we have standard RIs. And these reserved instances provide significant discount but do not allow modification except for certain limit changes. For example, availability zones, scope, instance size within the same family. So that was the quick run through on all the reserved instances option. Moving on with the next question. And yes, do not miss to watch the next episode where we are going to discuss super critical concepts like AWS architecture principles, decoupling and AWS compliance program. All of these are core AWS concepts. So please join me in the next episode. Question number 343 that says, how does AWS shorten the time to provision IT resources? And your options are: option A, it supplies an outline IT ticketing platform for resource requests. Option B, it supports automatic code validation services. Option C, it provides the ability to programmatically provision existing resources. And then option D, it automates the resource request process for a company's IT vendor list. And what do you think is the correct answer? Well, it is option C. It provides the ability to programmatically provision the existing resources. And friends, this happens using the tools like APIs or infrastructure as a code, and also the AWS Management Console. We took multiple questions on AWS Management Console in the previous episodes as well. So as I was saying, this enables rapid scaling and deployment without manual intervention. So that is the reason this option C is the correct answer. And now let me tell you why the other options are incorrect ones. But wait, let me see how many of you can prove why the other options are incorrect. Let me know in the comment section. But for now, let's move on to the next question. Question number 344. Very interesting question. A good concept is explained in this question. Let's read the question. It says the principle designed for failure and nothing will fail is very important when designing your AWS cloud architecture. Which of the following would help adhere this principle? You have to choose two correct options. So the first option given is multi-factor authentication. The second one is availability zones. Option C is elastic load balancing. Then we have option D, penetration testing. And lastly, option E, vertical scaling. So let me reveal the correct options. Firstly, we have option B, availability zones. And then we have option C, elastic load balancing. So let me very quickly explain availability zones. So using multiple availability zone, this will ensure that your application are distributed across physically separate locations within the AWS region. And this enhances the fault tolerance and availability by isolating the failures to a single zone. So that is why we have chosen availability zone as the first correct answer. Now coming to the elastic load balancing, well, this one automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets such as EC2 instances in different availability zones. And this helps maintain high availability and fault tolerance by ensuring that the traffic is routed to always a healthy instance. And by using both of these options, this practice will help create a resilient and self-healing infrastructure, minimizing the impact of potential failure. And that was the ask of the question as well. Moving on with the next question, question number 345. A company wants to focus on the business activities instead of managing compute and capacity. Which AWS service can be used to automatically add or remove Amazon EC2 instances based on the demand? Now the options given are option A, elastic load balancer, option B, Amazon EC2 auto scaling, option C, Amazon Route 53, and option D, Amazon CloudFront. And the correct answer, my friends, is option B, Amazon EC2 auto scaling. And yes, my friends, do check out the question number 331 and 338 to understand more on this interesting concept of scaling and elasticity. I really took some good examples and explained these two concepts in much more detail in those questions. And additionally, you can also read this documentation, Amazon EC2 auto scaling. Here you will understand what exactly is Amazon EC2 auto scaling and why should you use the same. Then you can also understand the benefits of the same along with the use cases. So the links to the documentation is given in the description box. So in case you're ready to take on the exam series on both Microsoft Azure and Amazon AWS, then you can surely benefit from our multiple exam series on both of these top cloud providers. And not just that, we also keep on making videos on free exam vouchers, insights into the world of generative AI, artificial intelligence, and also machine learning. And yes, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, press that bell icon, And also do not miss to select that all option so that you are receiving all the timely notifications. And that's all for today. I will see you in the next video. Till then, stay fit, keep learning, and thanks for watching.